Welcome JEFusion fans to Idol Talk, and this video is actually going to be my annual tribute to Gekidan. And you guys are probably wondering why I am making this video and posting it on this segment. Well, to those who have been following JEFusion for the past few years before we lost Gekidan, he's been the one posting practically everything about idols and stuff, you know. And I feel like this new segment that I've made, this idol talk, is just picking up where he left off. Now, between me and Dan, we liked idols a lot. Although we do have shared interests in tokusatsu, anime, and gaming. Basically, we have the same interests. One of those was idols. And one day, we were a part of a fan group based in the Philippines, of course, and Dan decided, like, hey, why not make another group, which is just us. So he called for a meetup. He called for a fan meet, just a small meeting of members from a different fan group. So, by the way, that was an AKB48 fan group in Manila, of course. And those who went to that meeting, we decided to make our own, just a private chat, our own private group where we could be silly and stuff. But over time, this group grew, and members from that other group eventually migrated, and we gained more members, of course. So that was really the start. During that time, I was new to the idol fandom, and that was around 2012, really. Exactly 6 years ago. So 6 years ago, and we had not really regular meetups, but we made sure that at least once a month we would meet together, like hang out and share anything idol related with other fans that we found, other fans that we met. And of course it was fun. Like, we would usually go to like cafes such as Starbucks, or we would meet at a mall food court, and someone had to order because we would be scolded if we didn't order anything. So we tried to order at least even the cheapest we can find on the menu, or just order from any restaurant if we ate at the food court, if we had our meetups there. And it was fun. So what we did was like share videos and songs. Some even sold CDs, like collectible photos and such. And somehow it also became a microeconomy, with all that buying, selling, and stuff. And again, this further developed my own interest in the idol fan base, particularly with the AKB48 group. And this is actually one of the reasons why I'm still attached to the group, even though there are tons of other groups out there that offer basically the same, or they offer something different to the table. And I do listen to other groups from time to time, but this is where I I started, so this is where I'm attached. And November 10th, 2013. So the day before that, there was a meetup for our group, and Dan said he couldn't come because he wasn't feeling really well. So I decided that I'd collect the stuff that he wanted to get. So okay, I'll get the stuff for you, and I'll bring him to the next day. So I did. So the meetup was December 9th. So I went to his house the next day, December 30th. November 30th, sorry. And then while we were while I was at his house, I was the only one who came that time. So it was just me. His sister wasn't at home that time, so it was just me and Dan all afternoon, and it was fun. And we had a bit of bonding. Well, when we watched a live stream, it was actually an AKB48 event. It was the very first AKB draft selection audition. So each group would choose girls from a pool of candidates. So if this group picked this girl, so she'd be training with that specific group. So let's say, for example, AKB48's Team A picked a girl from the pool of candidates. She'd be training exclusively with that team, and so on. But anyway, other than that, so it was a special event because it was live streamed. So we watched it together, and we spent a good couple of hours, maybe even more, trying to watch that live event. And to be completely honest, that was the last time I saw him. December 30th, 2013. It was actually the first anniversary of our fan group. I awakened early in the morning to a text message from Dan's sister. She announced he's gone. And I just didn't know what to do. Honestly, I haven't been as close to Dan. It was only a short amount of time that I knew him. I barely knew him for a year, but all those times we became close. I haven't known him as long as the other JEFusion crew members knew him. Like Alex, aka Gaiatron, knew him way before, and they had many years together, of course. And I was kind of the newcomer to the team, although I wasn't actually posting through JEFusion yet. So during his funeral, I swore, and another friend of ours who also became a member of our fan group, that we would take care of the group and make it grow. What started as a group of a few dozen people, years eventually passed, and we ballooned to over 700 or maybe even 800 as of today. And I'm very proud of that. A few weeks before I left for Japan, I actually went to Dan's house, so we happened to visit his grave. Before we left, I asked his sister for a moment to be alone. and I made a promise that I would take care of the group. And all over those years, we had many accomplishments. The biggest of which came in 2015 and 16 when AKB48's Team 8 sent representatives to the Philippines to perform for live events. And the biggest contingency in the audience was from our group. It was a very proud moment for me. And in fact, those members were featured in a magazine, and they had their pictures, cheering for the girls as they performed. I've never been any prouder. Like, another driving force for me, was that every time I go to an SK48 event, so I have this CD right here, and you can see, this is Juni Namatsui. I hope you guys can see through the reflection. Oh, there you go, better shot. So I said earlier in my SK48 event vlog when I went to this event, she's not personally my favorite, but because she's Dan's favorite, I kind of picked up the torch, and I followed Junina. Again, she's still not my number one favorite, but because of my respect for Dan, I also respect her as well. And another, this is also a driving force why I am a part of JEFusion. If it weren't for Dan, I wouldn't be doing this, honestly. And I owe him a lot for this. It's been 5 years since we lost him. It's been 6 years since he established our fan base. And I swore that I will keep doing my best to protect that group no matter what. And I'll do everything I can to maintain the group's happiness. So, pardon me for being a bit emotional. I may not be crying, but I will never forget. So, again, I would like to thank Dan for everything. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you in the next video.